Man, I'm telling you, when I was watching, we talked about the playing game, and when I saw that the Portland Trailblazers got it done in the playing game, and I realized, you realize we're getting like a Western Conference semifinal matchup potentially, if Portland wasn't injured. They could have been like a 3 or 4 seed instead of, having to fight to make the 8th seed.
Yes, sir.
And we're getting that series in the first round. We're getting Dame, LeBron, AD, Carmelo, CJ. We're getting all of that in the first round. I couldn't believe that. And this one was tricky for me because I like so a lot that both teams, bring to the table. Obviously for the Lakers, you know, they've had that stress of, for a while in this bubble experience of not knowing who they were playing. So I'm sure they were glad just as much as anybody to, see that Portland had won their playoff game because they didn't have to, stress about who they were playing anymore. You know, on Saturday, I think the playing game was. That's
Yeah.
when they just found out who their opponent was. They were like, okay, now the name has a face. Now we know who we're dealing with. And Dame Lillard, the bubble MVP, that man has been, on a whole another level. I don't think he's had a moment to, sit and rest before they won on Saturday. That was like his first breather he took since, July 7th when they got there. So um, I just look forward to watching this one. My prediction, with Portland healthy, my prediction went up and down. There's so many ways it could have went, but I'm going to give the Lakers the 4-2 edge. I see this one going 6 games, and the reason why what will push the Lakers over the edge in my mind is when I look at Anthony Davis is my Laker X factor. I know, not LeBron, because it's Anthony Davis, and it's not because LeBron can't do it anymore, but it's because he finally has, he has somebody that he could feed the ball to. Like when LeBron played with, Dwayne Wade and, Kyrie, LeBron still led those teams in scoring. Well, for the first time in a LeBron led team, he has a teammate that is scoring higher than him. Anthony Davis led the Lakers in scoring this season. So that I think, to take some pressure off of LeBron, I think the Lakers in this one should look to feature AD heavy and often because I think, you have this guy that, for in a Pelicans uniform, like he was always the best, player on that team, but he never had no help. He could get you 30, but nobody else was there to help him. So the Pelicans, didn't find a lot of playoff success. But the one year, I don't know if it was 2018. I don't know which year it was, so don't quote me on the year. But they actually, when the Pelicans got to the playoffs, I think they had Rondo on that team. They beat Portland in a series they swept them 4-0. And AD, it was just because AD was he was the most dominant player on the court. And when I look at Portland, who they were gonna have guarding him, I find them in a tough situation with that because you have probably Zach Collins, or you have Nurkic, or you have Whiteside, but AD is so elusive, he could get by those guys. So that's gonna be a hard defensive matchup for Portland to deal with. You know, the two the two jerseys that you have on the behind you there are going to be pretty much seeing each other all game in this one. That's going to be interesting. But I just think AD is going to be a difficult, cover that I don't see the Portland Trailblazers figuring out.
I agree, man. It's definitely going to be difficult for the Trailblazers, and this series, man, like it has the making. Like you said, you feel it's going to go 6 games. I'm going to go more into each team, but I think this is going to go 7 games. I can't see this ending in 6. I think this has to end in 7 games. Like this is what basketball needs, and this is what the fans need. A 7-game series with LeBron on the number 1 seeded Lakers versus Damian Lillard fighting to steal the 8th seed away from the Memphis Grizzlies. And he's playing like he's on another planet, man. Damian Lillard, and not just Damian Lillard, but CJ McCollom. Both those players have shown that if one is struggling, the other can take over a game, and that's just crazy that they have 2 players that they can rely on. They have Nurkic, they have Whiteside on the bench. Carmelo Anthony, a lot of people said that he was washed, that he doesn't deserve a roster spot. There's some players in the league that don't have the resume that Carmelo Anthony has, and he was sitting at home all of last year. But the Blazers gave him a chance, and I'm thankful because I miss Carmelo. And during these playing games, he was making big shots that he's used to. It's not new to him. Damian Lillard or CJ would feed him the ball, and he would make the clutch shot. He would use patented fadeaway 2-pointer or his catch and shoot 3. He is on a mission, and this is exciting. He's playing against LeBron, and when he was on the Nuggets and LeBron was on the Cavs, they battled when they were younger, and now that they're like the veterans in this league, it's interesting to see that they finally got to match up again. Because Carmelo was in the Eastern Conference on the Knicks, and they faced maybe one time because the Knicks struggled to make the playoffs after that one appearance, but now they get to play again. And on the other side with the Lakers, JJ, I'm going to say this right now. I think it's going to be very important. Like you said, AD has been playing stellar basketball. He's been scoring a lot more than LeBron. This is the first time that LeBron hasn't been carrying the team, that he has someone that can carry the load with him. I'm comparing this to Miami, JJ. Listen to me. I think what LeBron has to do for the Lakers to get far in this series and to the finals is to let AD drive the course, drive this team. Just like Dwayne Wade did in Miami, he gave LeBron the reins, and then they were able to take off and win 2 finals. Win against the Thunder, then the Spurs. Obviously, we remember that epic Game 6 and Game 7. But Dwayne Wade gave LeBron the keys to the kingdom, and he just let him ride. I think LeBron has to do that. Obviously, LeBron James, he's older. He can still score like the best of them. He's still consistently the best player in the league, JJ. He's older, but like what LeBron does, you can't deny that he's like the most valuable player on whatever team he's on. A lot of people compare him to Michael Jordan, but it's unfair. Michael Jordan is his own animal, and LeBron is this generation's most valuable player and best player. So I feel that LeBron has to give AD the reins for them to get far. It can't just be I'll go, then you go. LeBron has to know that it's AD's younger. AD, he hasn't won a chip. LeBron has 3. AD needs to prove to LeBron that he can help carry this team. Obviously, they have a lot of help. They have J.R. Smith that they just signed, Dion Waiters. They have JaVale McGee. They have Alex Caruso, Kyle Kuzma. This team has the making to make it far and to challenge the Clippers in the West, but they've been struggling, man. This is the last matchup that they wanted, is a hot Blazers team with Damian Lillard that, JJ, I believe that this was difficult for me to pick this in 7 games and pick the Lakers to win, because I believe that this is the Blazers' best chance to win the chip. If they can't get past LeBron and the Lakers, I don't know if the Blazers are going to win, because it's such a deep Western Conference, and you know that the Golden State Warriors are going to be back eventually. So time is ticking. This is a golden opportunity. So I'm just looking forward to this series, man. It's a mouthful to talk about. These teams, it's going to be a battle. Game 1 is just going to be a battle. I feel like Game 1's going to feel like a Game 7 because these teams, you don't want to be the team to be down 1-0 because the Lakers, man, LeBron can't. This would hurt LeBron's legacy if he let this one get away because, as we know, Kobe Bryant, sadly, rest in peace. It would be awesome for the Lakers to win this year for Kobe. But a lot of teams have their own motivation and are doing it for Kobe and for their franchises. So it's the matter of if LeBron can give the keys to AD, or will Damian Lillard, and CJ McCollom finally make it to the finals and win that chip for Portland? Because Damian Lillard wants to destroy super teams. He refuses to join them, and he wants to destroy them. He wants to make his own legacy and win a chip in Portland. That's what he wants. He doesn't want to go anywhere, JJ. Nowhere.
Well, Mr. LSB, before we close this out, one last thing I want to say. I am probably, the biggest LeBron fan that there is, but what I can tell people, this is kind of like, our closing statement here, last take, if you will. I kind of, I know there's always pressure on LeBron. As long as he plays in this league, he's going to have pressure on him for the rest of his career, no matter how old he gets. But for me, something's just telling me that if in this playoff series, if Anthony Davis does not make a statement, because for years, people let him off the hook, because he had a bad Pelicans team, right? But that excuse no longer flies. After this first round playoff series, what happens in this playoffs in general, he can't get away with that no more. This is his time. You are on a team. I know there's no home court advantage, but you play for the biggest, one of the biggest sports, franchises, not just in basketball, but in all of sports. The Lakers, it doesn't get much bigger than that. Los Angeles, that's like, there's very few NBA cities that have power all over the league, but Los Angeles is, right up there at the top. So I need, me and fans alike, AD needs to make a statement. He needs, and he should look to make that statement from game 1. He needs to show that, the Lakers trading to get him here, this is what this was for. The regular season, seeing what LeBron and Anthony Davis could do, that was amazing to watch. But what can you do here in the playoffs where it matters?
Yes, sir, man. I couldn't say it better myself, and I think that's the perfect way for us to end these playoffs, man. It's only the first round, but it's exciting. Like, I can't imagine what the matchups are going to be for the second round. Like, it's crazy. Oh my gosh. I'm just like shaking just thinking about the intensity, and a champion will finally be crowned, JJ. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I know you are. We didn't think that we were going to see basketball this season, but now we got it. It's obviously at a different time, but the game's still the same no matter what, and we finally get to see it. So thank you, everyone, for watching LSB and JJ the DJ. We're signing off, and we'll tell you about the next round once it comes up. But enjoy the show, guys. We're in it to win it, and we're in it to watch it and watch history be made.